Ah, Hi there for another edition of Ask Me a Question. Today I'm going on a little late because I had some work in the morning. It's getting things sorted. But welcome everyone to another edition of Ask Me a Question. Every Thursday, I pick one of the questions that you guys asked based on the form that you fill up in the link, and then I'll do my best to facilitate it using the tools of access consciousness. Hi Alicia, hey, good to see you. So today's question is Komal's question, and I think she's going to join us as well. And I think it's a very relevant question because she's like, I have all these judgments coming up when I'm working, and how do I deal with the judgments and still take action? That was her question, and she's here, so I'm going to ask her to join me, and let's see. I will be giving out some tools, and we'll be having a conversation. Hopefully this contributes to you guys. And what else is possible? I'll just... Kamal, I invited you, but I don't see you. It says join, but I don't see you. Ah, there you are. Hi, Kamal. Well, thank you for your question. Welcome. Cool. So what's up? Do you want to ask it again?
Yeah. So my question was that, like,
Hello,
before,
people. Sorry.
yeah. So before, like, taking a step, or like before, like executing an action or anything like that, I become aware of all these judgments that I have,
Okay.
and I know some of them are mine, some of them are other people's, which I'm already perceiving before. So sometimes it becomes a little difficult to just take the step without, and it sort of slows me down. So I thought,
Okay. So what tools do you use right now to deal with it?
I use interesting point of view and he does this belong mostly.
Yeah. So for those people out there, I wonder what that noise is. So for people out there, I'm an access consciousness facilitator, and what you must have noticed is how much you judge yourself during the day. And have you noticed when you take up new projects, or you're going to start something new, or even something that you've been doing, how much do you begin with? Why can I hear myself again?
No, I hear coming here.
I can literally hear my echo, which is weird. Okay, so how much do you judge yourself before you do anything? Okay, so you wake up in the morning, and how much do you judge yourself? Do you wake up with, I'm so grateful for me, or do you wake up with, I haven't done enough, or I'm late, or I haven't taken care of this project or that or whatever it is? So what Komal is talking about is something that we all suffer from, which is judging ourselves, because we've been taught, like, the one way to know for sure that we're going to one way to make sure that we will succeed is that we judge ourselves in the right way, so that we will not be complacent and keep taking the necessary action. So is that what is actually happening? So you may want to look at that. It's what, so for example, even in my case, like, I used to love sports. I still love sports. But the one way that you're taught to be better at anything is by judging yourself as not being good enough, so that you don't become complacent, so that you have something to improve on, and so, you keep working on it. However, that doesn't really work, and that does not mean that you don't look at where you can, sort of develop your skills more and this, but not from the space of, as inherently where I'm not doing enough, or this is not. So we take the necessary actions from this space of, I'm not doing enough, all right, or I'm not good enough, which is what we've learned is the way to create. But that actually puts you in this cycle of pressure and stress, and you're not actually living up to your full potential. Okay. However, but what I'm trying to get to you is that that's like a learned behavior. That's what you're doing so that you don't not take steps. You know what I mean? Do you know? You know, that's the way you've learned so that you do not take steps. So it's not, it's always the opposite of what you think is. Okay, so everything's the opposite of what it appears to be. Like, so what I hope you're getting it. So it's like the learned behavior is to judge yourself just enough so that you don't become complacent, which is fine. It may work to a certain degree, but you can never really enjoy and live up to your full potential. And you never really invite infinite possibilities and do multiple things and multiple projects that you're interested in. That is always, it's wonky. So what you would want to just recognize is, hey, wait, is this what I'm doing? Is this my way of pushing me? And does that lighten up when I ask you, is this my way of pushing? Yeah, so that means that's true. Okay, anything that's light is a true, even if it's a stupid point of view that we've taken on, but it's something that you like, oh shit, I've been doing this. So all you have to do is recognize that this is actually my way to take action. It's just a very ineffective way to take action. Okay? So instead, you want to sort of, the starting point is what else is possible. Okay? So notice those judgments. Okay? And you can use, who does this belong to? Or it's just an interesting point of view that I have this point of view. And that will work for such a major chunk of your judgments, because a lot of this that we've learned is something we've bought into. Okay? And now I'm giving you another way and another tool to use along with it, which is, hey, wait, is this my way of actually taking action? Is this your way of taking action? By judging yourself just enough so that you don't become complacent. That is the interesting point of view now. So you realize that's the point of view that you have to go, oh, wait, that's an interesting point of view. I have this point of view. So you'll do all this interesting point of view to all these things, but that's not actually what's going on. It's something completely different. So you're like, you know, like bursting those bubbles, like the nucleated spheres thing that we speak about in Access Consciousness. Anyway, for those who are listening to this, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is you may be using the tool interesting point of view. So one of the tools that Access Consciousness talks about is it's just an interesting point of view. So for whatever judgments come up in your world, just take a moment, like, oh, I'm fat, oh, I'm stupid, or whatever. Take a moment and just go, it's an interesting point of view. It's just an interesting point of view. It's just an interesting point of view. It's just an interesting point of view. Till that judgment lightens up and it has no more charge in your world. Okay? So, because it's the charge, it's when you made it right, wrong, good or bad, any of these polar opposites that actually keeps you at the effect of that judgment. So when you're using interesting point of view to every judgment, it starts lightening it up and dissipates the charge, and you no longer have to be the effect. Okay? Now, but sometimes you may want to have a conversation like this or reach out to a facilitator. Hey, this stuff is going on. I'm using interesting point of view. It's something that I'm working. It's because you're not actually looking at what's going on. You're kind of distracted by other things on which you've piled on top of it. So here is where you go, interesting point of view. Wait, this is what I've decided is my way of actually taking action. Oh, interesting point of view. I have this point of view, because clearly it doesn't work. Okay, because I've done that a whole bunch of times, because that's how I knew I have to push myself. You know, like I have to become better at this sport, and I have to become by judging myself just enough. But then there's this whole other energy where I still want to improve and still want to learn things. And, you know, like, for example, whatever, like the drumming, like my work, and that I want to improve, but not from the place of there's something not good enough. It's actually from the space of what else is possible. I love this. I enjoy this. I like to have more of this, and that space. And then taking action is faster, and you'll take multiple actions, and you won't slow yourself down. And you don't have to buy into this lie that whatever, those judgments that you have. Make sense? Yeah. So her question was, I judge myself so much that sometimes I'm not able to take action. But then as I speak to her energetically, we realize that that is her way to take action. Because that's what we're taught. We're taught to judge ourselves just enough so that we do not become complacent. And that may work, but it doesn't work after a point. After a point, it just creates weird stress and it slows you down. And you want to quit that thing, or you want to give up on it because it's just creating this weird pressure and a weird space of judgment, which is not fun. That is what is not fun. Okay? I hope this conversation helps. I hope it helps some of y'all who've been listening to it, and it helps whoever in the future who listen to it later. I am Dr. Khushboo Shah. I'm an Access Consciousness Facilitator. Every Thursday, I will just take up one question. If you want to ask me a question, fill out the form in the link, and I'll do my best to facilitate using the tools of Access. You want to say anything else, Komal? There's anything else? We can't hear you.
I said thank you for, I can
yeah. And you also have to notice that it's lightening your world up. Like as soon as what is true is, oh fuck, that was what it is. Sorry for my language, but as soon as you sort of realize it, it lightens up your space. Even if it is like, oh my god, I'm a slut, or whatever that is. If it is true, it'll still lighten you up. I know I'm being very controversial with my words today, but what I'm trying to say is, if it is true, if that is where you're functioning from, it'll lighten your world up, and then you can change it from there. Okay? Anything that's true for you is light for you. Anything that's a lie for you is inherently heavy. Okay? So, and if you've been using these tools of who does this belong to, an interesting point of view, and that thing is actually not changing, you're not actually looking at what's going on. Okay? So that's one thing in your case, that you were actually doing this, so you take action. And the other thing is, what else is possible, right? Like, what else is possible? What if, so you have to look at this. It's so deep. Judging yourself as good or bad or right or wrong is actually the right way of being here in this reality. Do you get that? Like that is what is basically taught. It's very insidious. It's very weird. So you're like, I don't want this, but it's so freaking insidious. It's so inherent to how everybody functions and how you're taught to function that it can be a little daunting at sometimes. But as soon as you realize, oh wait, this is actually my way of like, it changes immediately. So now next time you sit for anything, it's like, wait. Okay, so you're no longer the victim, first of all, because when you started this conversation, or when you asked me that question, it's like, oh my god, I have all these judgments and I judge myself and everybody judges and there is a little bit of I am a victim of these judgments. But you're not, okay? You are using this for whatever reason as a way to take action in this case. Okay? And you're not a victim to those judgments. It's the way, I mean, you're not, like, unless you make them real and true. Okay? So that's the other thing. And is there anything else? Any other question that, because I can go in like 30 different directions with this. No, cool. Okay, guys. So, moral of the story, the tool that we're talking about today is stop judging yourselves. Okay, and when you realize, if you realize these patterns, okay, any pattern, like in her case, this pattern of all this stuff coming out before she takes up work or takes any action is a pattern. It keeps showing up. So you want to see what you love about it. Like, what have you decided actually works there? Okay? Because if it keeps showing up, there is something, even if it is really like annoying to even look at it, you know, like I find myself in stupid relationships every time. And it's like, yeah, but what do you love about it? It's like, I don't love anything about it. I get that. I don't love, but that's super, there is some value deeply, like that you have there, which it's not even deeply, it's just you're not conscious about it and you're not really looking at it. You're keeping it secret from yourself. If there is a pattern, there's something you love about it, there's something that it gives you that you've decided that it does. And all you have to do is, you don't have to even cognitively know it. You just go, interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view, that this is actually working for me, or this is going to create a race. Oh, I'll keep choosing abusive men and make sure they're kind so that I solve the problem of like whatever women are facing for everybody. That's just a point of view that keeps that cycle going. Okay? There's so many other options and so many other things that's going on. So there is a value. If there's a repeated pattern going on, there's something that you love about it, or there is a value you see in it, or there's something you learned that this is how to create your life. Okay? So have fun and just go, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Thank you so much. Hope this contributed to people. And bye-bye. If you have any questions, if there's anything that I can facilitate you with the tools of Access Consciousness, please fill out the form. And I have done a bunch of these Instagram lives every Thursday. You may want to look at some of them as well, because sometimes I'll be sort of be like, hey, I spoke about this last week. And then you'll be like, I don't know, because I have not seen it. So if you could go also check those out, and hopefully it'll contribute to you guys. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye. Thank you, Komal.